The views of the guest are that of the guests and do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, the Recruiter Call channel, nor its host. This site content is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only.
So let's just start off by saying that former truck driver, now Uber driver, Dirty Truckin', has her fair share of issues that be going on in her life. She shares a lot of them on her YouTube channel via her Uber stories. Now, I can kind of resonate with her because I used to be an Uber driver. Some of the stuff that be going on when you be doing these Ubers and that be happening to her, I tend to believe her. I do. I tend to believe her because a lot of these Uber passengers, they just be feeling like they are entitled to whatever service that you perform for them. So in this situation right here, I'm not sure if it's factual because, again, you just gotta be sus when listening to Dirty Truckin' in her stories. But what would you do if you found yourself facing her situation? She claims that a passenger brandished a gun on her. Sounds strange, right? But in this clip right here I'm about to let you guys hear, she says that she almost got shot.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for listening. And in today's podcast, man, we just gonna get right into it. But before we do, let's just set the scene, right? Picture this. Late in Detroit, Dirty Truckin' picks up a passenger for what seems to be a quick trip to the liquor store. But things turn when the passenger allegedly escalate the situation and then brandish a gun. And at the end of it all, she even threw something that damaged the side of the car. But here's the thing when listening to Dirty Truckin's story, though, which always leaves me with more questions than answers.
Hello. It is 3:52. Got some disturbing news. At 8:38 p.m. yesterday, which would have been Thursday, on a trip picking up two riders, I could have lost my life. I picked up a rider on Crane in Detroit off of Gratiot. I seen her come out the house. Then she got to the car and got in the car. As I went to pull off, she started yelling, "My baby, you about to leave my baby, you about to leave my baby." I didn't see nobody else come out the house. After she got in the car, when you're in the car, you can say, "Hey, I got somebody else coming." Okay, we get up to the store. She's a quick trip, just going up to the corner and back. That's why I don't like these little short-ass $3 trips. So I get her up to the store. She gets out. The girl stays in the car.
As you guys heard, Dirty Truckin' version of events. The rider gets into the car, claims she's about to leave her daughter, whatever that argument is. And then from there, it just kind of spiral from there. Allegations of yelling, miscommunications, and all sorts of stuff.
I'm puzzled. Now you done made all that hoopla about my baby, and then you get out the car at the store, and she stays in the car. Why is she coming anyway if she gonna stay in the car? I don't babysit. We don't do babysitting. This is a little bit unusual. Normally when I have people multi-stop, they go into the store, they all exit the car, and then they come back. Normally, that sitting in the car shit while the rest of them done got out, no. And for her to be still in here after, I'm assuming it's her mother because she kept calling her baby. So she gets out and leave the girl in the car. So while the girl sitting there, I asked her, "Are you at least 18? Because, Uber's policy, you must be 18. You can't be in the car without adult supervision." And she said, "Yes, I'm 18. There was no argument. There was nothing. Nice conversation. All of a sudden, she gets out the car. Her and the mother come back. I'm assuming, I'm just calling her mother because she calling her a baby. She come back. I don't see anything wrong with me asking her, "Are you at least 18 to be still sitting here in this car?" Because that's kind of odd. Y'all scheduled a trip to go up to the liquor store, and both of y'all don't get out the goddamn car. Because she could have stayed home and avoided this whole situation in the first place of her even being almost left. She could have stayed at the house if she wasn't coming and getting in the store. Both of them comes back. The mother gets in the car. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? I don't know. What do you mean? What are you talking about? There's no problem. I don't know. You might want to talk to her. What problem? Then the girl back there said, "Yeah, you asking all these questions. I asked you one question. I asked you, was you 18? So the lady asked me, was there a problem? So I went to tell her what I asked her. Now she's getting argumentative again. Because I was telling her about Uber's policy. You can't be in the car without adult supervision if you under the age of 18. She's being very argumentative.
Dirty trucking after she claims that the rider brandished a gun on her.
So I finally get ready to go get her right when she get out the car. Get her back to her house. They get out the car. She's still talking. Her and the girl. They just still talking. So I had just slightly pulled off. Then I bagged up. And I asked her. I said, why are y'all acting like that? That's all I asked her. Why are y'all acting like that? Why are y'all out here acting like that? Ain't they nothing to you? I ain't saying nothing out the way. Then she standing here at the car talking about I was being disrespectful. How am I being disrespectful? Then she fucked up. She pulled a gun out. She brandished her gun. She raised her shirt and put her hand on her gun. As I was bagging up, she coming back. Why are you acting like that? I bagged up. Why are you acting like that? Why? I pull up. Her daughter reached on the ground and got something. I don't know if it was a brick or a big ass rock, but she threw it at the car and hit the car and damaged the passenger. She damaged it and scratches on the side of the. Now you done fucked up.
She decides to call the police, report the incident to Uber to let them know what happened, as well as making a report for the damages on the car. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions in that story of hers. On the surface, it's crazy, it's terrifying, it's scary. I get it. Things like that happens all the time in an Uber situation. But let's get into it a little bit because everybody in the comment section is not buying her story. So here's where things get murky. First off, there's no direct recording. Now, usually you're in an era where everybody pulls out their phones for ridiculous reasons. Here, a situation that is scary and that's affecting your safety, you wouldn't pull out your phone to record the interactions between you and the passenger, especially when she showed you her gun. I'm just saying, in an era where most drivers have dash cams or, again, even phones in their possession, they record for their safety. Why wasn't there any solid evidence in this situation? Dirty Trucking claims that Uber has the footage.
No, I'm waiting for the police because that house right there, the woman pulled a gun on me. I'm trying to get in contact with Uber, tell them what happened. I called DPD. DPD shows up. There was a female officer and a male officer. They approached. I told them what happened. They gave me a report number. I told her the ride was recorded, and the officer wanted me to get the recording. I said, they're not going to give it to me. Uber don't never do that shit. They don't release it to me. You're going to have to get it. He wanted me to try to get it. I attempted. They won't give it to me. Law enforcement has requested. So Uber has a website. They go on for law enforcement to request stuff. The whole trip is recorded. You can see the whole thing. And I hope it was still rolling when she pulled the gun.
But if that's the case, would you still be able to pull the footage off your phone? If Uber has the same footage that's being recorded while the trip is going on, would that same recording be accessible on your phone? If anybody could let me know that, because I might be wrong. I have an individual dash camera in my car so that if anything happens, I'm able to access the footage right then and there.
When she brandished her gun, my camera was rolling. But the only thing about mine, the interior be like dark. All you probably gonna do is hear them talking, but it was lit. You might see something. I don't know. I had to take it to a computer to see what I have.
So now it just end up being one person's word against another. And then there's the police.
Officer of the goddamn law.
They never even went to the house to tell anybody to come to the door. But I think that mainly probably was because I told them she had a weapon. She had a gun. They never once went to the door. They never went to the house. I had them come out the house so I can identify them. They just wanted all the information about the car, but they didn't go to the house. And I want to assume because I said the girl had a gun. And this girl was acting crazy as hell. She was talking crazy, but just loud the whole time.
Why didn't they confront the alleged perpetrators? You was only a couple of houses down, but I know what you guys thinking. Why? Could it be because the story don't quite add up? Let's not forget, Dirty Trucking also mentioned going down a one-way street by mistake and dealing with the app delays. That could cause stress and miscommunications. That might have played a role in the exaggerating situation, right? Now, listen, I used to be an Uber driver back in the day. I experienced some of the same experiences that Dirty Truckin' has went through. So to be fair, let's not dismiss the dangers of ride sharing that drivers face every day. They're dealing with strangers in confined spaces. Anything and everything has happened.
What? Jennifer Gilbo riding in Joel Mahmoud's car when out of nowhere she appears to snap, lunging at the Uber driver, dousing him with pepper spray.
There are countless stories, videos, articles of drivers being attacked, harassed, or even worse. It's possible that Dirty Truckin' genuinely feared for her life, but we still need to balance the skepticism with empathy. Could this story be real? Why, sure, it could be, or it could be an overreaction or a misinterpretation of the events. But all of that is for you to decide. Dirty Truckin's story raised bigger questions about rideshare safety, though, for real. Drivers should be allowed to carry their own protection, I think, from their pew-pew, tasers, or even a can of wasp spray, which I have. Should rideshare companies do more to ensure driver safety, like mandatory dash cameras or stricter rider screening? Yes, they should. They most definitely should, because any and everybody can sign up for that app. When drivers sign up to drive for Uber, they go through a strenuous background check. But if passengers sign up for Uber, they don't. Just put your credit card information in, wait for a couple of days, and boom, you're automatically on the app. What about accountability? If a passenger reports drivers with just their words and get them easily deactivated, shouldn't drivers have better access to their own defense tools too? Like, can they complain about a passenger and get that passenger deactivated? No. Why? Because that's their money. They rather deactivate you first and then go through the process of getting you back on afterwards. So while you're waiting, sitting, not making no money and missing time, while the passenger, on the other hand, can still get rides and get to where they're going. It just seems not fair to me, right? It's a tricky conversation, I know. I get it. And I know a lot of you may or may not be interested in this particular topic, but that's what my channel is about. I don't just talk about trucking, I talk about everything. But this particular question, this particular topic, this particular talking needs to happen, and people needs to listen to it. Especially for those that's doing Uber as an Uber driver for whatever reason that y'all doing it for. Y'all depend on those apps. And let me just stop the show right there. That's the problem. Y'all depend on these apps way too much. Now, as for Dirty Truckin', I'm not sure of her CDL situation, even if she still got it. But she's a truck driver. And I'm sure there's plenty of companies locally in Detroit that she could probably have better chances with. And I know, y'all. I get it. She's an extraordinary female. I know. At the end of the day, though, okay, I just want you guys to listen and try to process this. We probably will never know the full truth behind this particular ride from hell with Dirty Truckin'. But one thing for sure, being a rideshare driver isn't for the faint of heart. Whether you guys believe the story or not, let me know in the comments below. It's still a stark reminder of the risks those rideshare drivers faces every day. And with that, I'm going to leave this right here. What do you guys think, man? Do you think it actually happened? Or do you think that because it's not recorded and it's not shown, did it happen? Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, everybody.